Hey guys, welcome back to Suburban Outdoorsman. I have a little project I'm working on today. I'm trying to find a walking stick. So this is a path that we often walk, my wife and I, and also Kevin and his wife. We'll walk this path frequently, just as a bit of an exercise. And I always like to carry a walking stick with me, just in case. I haven't really had to use it other than helping myself down a cliff, or a hill rather. But I always like having a nice walking stick. So I was trying to come out here and trying to find a nice one I can use for that. Now I did make one a couple weeks back. I found this beautiful tree, cut it down. I carved out as much as I needed for that walking stick. But then as I was carving, I also messed it up and I had to toss it. So I figured this next time I'll go ahead and share this experience with you guys. So I'm gonna walk through the woods here, trying to find the perfect tree to use. Now, we have all kinds of woods, all kinds of varieties of woods, I guess, in this wooded area on my property here. As far as oak or pine, I've also got some black walnut, things like that. But there's also a lot of cedar, and I like the cedar here. I think it's going to be a nice wood. It grows nice and straight. And then all the little branches that come off of it, they're still pretty small, so I can clear that away pretty easy. So I'm going to walk around and try to find the right piece, because we have a lot of, there's scraggly woods in this area. You know, like this one behind me here, right there, but it's not very straight. But then there's a piece, well, this might be the nice one here. Here, let me flip the camera around so you can see what I'm looking at. Well, here, how about I just do it this way? This fella, it's a little big maybe, and that's kind of tall, so maybe it is too much to cut. So I'll keep looking. But there's plenty of woods around here. So I'll tell you what, as I go looking, I'll cut this off and you'll rejoin me when I find it, and I'll cut it down and we'll go from there. Okay, so I think I found the right tree. It actually took a little bit longer than I thought it would here. There's plenty of trees, but I'm trying to find the right one for me. I feel like Goldilocks at the moment. But I think this is the right one here. This one, it's not too tall, so it's not too much to take down, and it's got a good size for my hand. So I'm gonna chop this one down, and I'll try to set my phone up here so you can try to catch the whole process. But I got an axe in my bag. I've also got a saw, like a tree saw, in my outdoor bag. So let's see if I can utilize some of this stuff and take care of this tree. Okay, so I'm also kind of an idiot. All right, I did cut the tree down and I did video it. However, it was on slow motion and it doesn't really make for great TV. So I have the stick down, the tree down. Here she is. It's a bit taller than me. I guess it's probably about 6'8". So I might cut it down a few more inches. So once I see how it strips down, then I'll go from there and see if I need to cut it down some more. But I need to cut down all these little guys, trim all that down so that's nice and smooth, and then I'll take the bark off so it'll be a nice clean looking walking stick. So I'll get to try to clear some of these little spines out, and then we'll go from there. All right, so I'm gonna start clearing away these spines off this, so the small branches, and to use that, I've got the small handheld axe. It actually has another attachment on it to make it a pretty decent length. But these both break down and it fits pretty easy into my bag this way. So I'll use this axe, see if I can't knock down some of these branches to make it nice and smooth. So you can join me for that. Okay, so that was pretty easy. I've got all the small branches taken off. Now I need to go ahead and start stripping off the bark. And I'm gonna try to use this axe as well. If that doesn't work so well, I've got a longer knife, but it's back at the house. I forgot I left it there as well. So I'm gonna try to scrape that down, see how that looks. So you can see with this cedar, this is how it's normally going to look, and it looks pretty, but it's really not great for a walking stick. But as you start to shave it down, you'll start to get to this white part, and that comes off as well. That's kind of just, I guess it's an underbark. I'm not really sure what you would call it. But what I'm trying to get to is this golden color here. This makes it for a real nice smooth finish. So that's what I'm going to keep carving this down to, and this will take a good long while, so I'll go for a little bit longer, then I'll probably just take it home and see if I can't knock it out some more there while I'm sitting around watching TV. So hopefully when I come back, this will be on a different stage, and you'll start to see me as I carve down these notches where all these eyes are. And then I'm going to sand it down. I might put a nice coat of epoxy on it or something so it looks nice. So we'll come back and see how that turns out. So here I've got it peeled off as far as the bark goes. There's all my debris down there. So now I just need to go by and get all this light stuff off. This reminds me of like the silver skin on a deer, if you ever had to process a deer like that. But I found I switched to my smaller knife, and it seems to be doing pretty good at getting that stuff off. So the idea is to get down to this blonde wood like this. And it'll all look a lot better too when I sand it down. But it comes off pretty well. It's going to be a little time consuming, but it'll come off. So we'll see how that turns out. Okay, so maybe this is cheating, but this seems to be the easiest way for me to start a fire, burn this off, and then put a fire out. This way, all these little hairs and such, I can burn off. I tried sanding it off on its own, and it just wasn't working well enough. It's still too green. So I'll burn all this stuff off, and then I can maybe sand it after it dries out a little bit. So let's see how well this works. All right, so here's the finished product. I might have skipped a few steps on camera, but what I ended up doing was I sanded it down. I did some of it by hand, and some of it I sanded by my power sander. Then I put a nice coat of polyurethane on it, and I also took an extra step here and wrapped it with some paracord. This was a pretty neat idea that I had, and I like it. But I just drilled a hole at the top of the wrap, fed it through, put a knot on the end, and then I tightly wound it all the way down, and then did the same thing at the bottom. Just drilled a hole, put it through, and tied the other end. But otherwise, I think it turned out pretty nice. It is pretty thick. It's a little bit taller than I am, but it's got a nice weight to it, and it'll end up just getting lighter as it gets older, as the moisture in it starts to wick out. But with it being polyurethane and everything, it should hold up pretty well against the weather, and I think I'm happy with this one. So now I need to go out and make some with the kids, and they can each have their own. So we'll film that as well so that they can be part of that process. So until next time, we'll see you guys.